Hey, what's up guys? For today's video, I wanted to go over my branded deck profile. So if you don't know, branded just got new support in the form of the Fallen of the Virtuous and the new fusion, the Dragon that Devours the Dogma. So I'll introduce the new cards, then I'll go on the reasons why you might want to play the deck, or might not want to play the deck. So the new spell, the Fallen of the Virtuous, so it's a quick play spell that says this card is always treated as a branded and dogmatica card. So all your fusions that get to those cards also can get to this card, like Albaz and etc. It says you can activate one of these effects. Send one monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz from your extra deck to the graveyard, then target one face-up card in the field, destroy it. If you have an Ecclesia monster in your field or graveyard, target one monster in either graveyard, special summon it to your field. So the second effect isn't really that relevant, at least not right now anyway. We mainly play this for the first effect. So starting off, you can target any card in the field. So obviously, it's like an Arclight out at like bare minimum, which is not bad, while also sending a guy from your extra deck to the graveyard. Versus like Dracotail, when they go like, if you go like Brand Fusion and they chain Flame, you can actually go Fallen the Virtuous, target your own Brand Fusion to pop it and then dodge the Flame that way. So it has utility there as well. And then also going first in general, you can use this card to like pop one of your own cards that you don't need anymore. Send a Fusion like an Albion or a Titaniclad or something like that. To basically get you access to your branded engine in a different way. So the card's actually super versatile. It's pretty solid. Going second, it isn't the highest impact card in some matchups. Like for Yummy Mitsurugi, it's not insanely high impactful because you care more about just the Arclight. Versus in that matchup, the card's still really good. And then there's a fusion, the Dragon that Devours the Dogma. It requires Albaz plus a light plus lighter dark plus an effect monster, so 3 materials. So Branded Fusion cannot summon this because Branded Fusion has to use 2 monsters exactly. While an Ecclesia monsters in the field are either graveyard, this card gains 500 attack. Also, it is unaffected by other card effects. You can only use each following effects once per turn. This card is special summoned. You can shuffle up to 2 cards from any graveyard and or banishment into the deck, so non-targeting. And then during the end phase, if this card was in the graveyard, because it was center this turn, add a Dogmatica or Tri-Brigade card from your deck to your hand. So obviously, like this is a Dogmatica card, like I said, so you can also get access to it with this, which is pretty cool. This card isn't really as great as the spell. Obviously, you can't really summon off Branded Fusion, but sometimes you can like go Albaz, summon this like on the opponent's turn using 2 of their monsters, and it's like pretty solid. But yeah, so what are the positives and negatives of branded? The positives that going first, the deck is really solid right now. Like people are playing mix of hand traps and board breakers to deal with the Yummy Mitsurugi deck, right? Dark Rulers in everybody's decks, you know. Drolls in everybody's decks, and this deck is fairly strong into Dark Ruler, fairly strong into Droll. So like often like, especially because Yummy Mitsurugi doesn't play that much non-engine, like if you win die roll, you should be like winning like the match against Yummy Mitsurugi, which is like a really good sign. So that's really nice. And also like D-Barrier just got banned as well, so you don't have to deal with that as well. A negative is that Yummy Mitsurugi is looking like it's a most play deck, and I think that matchup is really hard. Specifically because going second versus that deck is just really rough. Like, so you see here, I'm playing Fua and Joel in the main deck. I'm not playing Dark Ruler. I'm not playing Super Poly like other people. I feel like if you're playing against a good Yummy Mitsurugi player, you don't win the game with 1 Super Poly. You're not winning with 1 Dark Ruler. Like, they're all main decking Purification now, by the way. Or like most people are starting to. So like, because I'm building for mainly Yummy Mitsurugi, I unfortunately I didn't feel like I can main deck either of those cards, so I'm main decking Fua and Joel. Because if these cards resolve against Yummy Mitsurugi, then I actually feel like I have a good chance at winning going second. I'm playing Thrust, Altar Thrust. Thrust is not insanely impactful going second against Yummy Mitsurugi. They have a lot of stops for it, Arclight, Purification, Ash Blossom. But I still wanted to play Thrust because I think you want it for going first. So you see here, like Fusion Duplication. Because the going first isn't insane to the point where I can just play like infinite like cards that don't help me there. So yeah, and then technically like this can be a non-engine card too, but like I mean versus like Dracotail, it's like a real non-engine card. Versus like Yummy, it's only real if you have like a Joel or Fua that resolved. But yeah, or sometimes like a Thrust. Well versus Yummy Mitsurugi, versus pure Yummy, like you can like vibe if you only have like Fallen the Virtuous, you can like win going second with engine. But yeah. But yeah, that's it for your win going second. Some other matchups might be a little bit rough, but people aren't really playing them. Like for example, Malice, if they build like a hand trap approach, might be a bit rough, but nobody really plays Malice. So that's chill. So going on with the deck profile, 3 Aluber, 2 Cartesia, 2 Quem, 1 Kit, 1 Mercurier, and 1 Tragedy. not trying to play too many normal summons, even though sometimes Cartesia is a normal summon. It's pretty conditional. And then obviously Aluber is the GOAT, and then 2 Quem for the grind game. You don't need Kit 100%, but I like it, and it's technically like a starter, so I don't feel like bad playing it. 3 Albion, 3 Albaz, 3 Sarnir, 1 Lubellion, and I'm just trying to like max out on like ways to like play, kind of ways to play. And then the non-engine I mentioned, the Foot and the Joel. Albion does play a bit into Joel because like it's like an upstart kind of, but I feel like the deck can do so much under Joel that it's fine if you get Joel and Albion more often than not. So I like the 3 Albion for consistency. Then 2 Brand Fusion, 3 Opening, 3 High Spirits, playing 3 for consistency. 3 Fusion Duplication. I mean, yeah, pretty standard to be honest. 2 Fallen in the Virtuous. So I should explain why I'm playing 2 Fallen in the Virtuous and not 3. And my reasoning I'm playing 2 Fallen in the Virtuous is I feel like sometimes you would want 2 Fallen for like a grind game, but I don't think it's the best card to draw going second. I don't think it's that great going second against Yummy Mitsurugi. Against pure Yummy, against Dracotail, the card's actually really, really solid going second. Like, you can only draw Fallen and then just like 5 other like engine cards and win the game. But against Yummy Mitsu, I don't think that's true. So that's why I decided to make 2 to have like more space for like other cards. Then I'm playing Foolish and Goldsark. I like these cards because I think they give the deck more ways to play. I think the main issue with Branded is that it plays so many 1-ofs, right? Like, you play so many different 1-ups, have so many different cards that like don't function by themselves, and some in combination with some cards they can function well, but in combination with other cards, you know, not really, right? Like, let's say let me go to solo mode, for instance, right? Let me begin siding. So when you take how many like random 1-ups do we play? We play Branded Red, we play Branded Lost, Fusion Duplication. I mean, I'm not gonna count Fusion Duplication because it's like low key non-engine, but yeah, like Retribution, like Mercurier, Tragedy. You know, even like a kit card, but not really. But like, you know, the Albaz cards, like these cards, like Cartesia, Loki, could we play more spells? Like, these are a lot of cards that like require other specific cards to function, right? And like, you might be like, well, Brandon Red's nice if you draw like it with Albion or something like that. Sure, but like when you draw Brandon Red and this, like all these like different cards together, they don't really function well together. And I feel like Branded has like a consistency problem. And I know what people are going to say, but deck is fine consistency. Like, most hands can play. So when I talk about consistency, I think there are 2 forms of consistency. There's base consistency, which is the percentage of hands which can just play Yu-Gi-Oh! And ignoring your opponent. And in that regard, I think the deck's consistency is fine. But I think there's like a second consistency, called real consistency. And that takes account like not only can your hand play, but also like the overall strength of the hand, and then in regards to like your opponent's hands too. And I think Branded really struggles in that second part because the best Branded hands are like insane, absolutely cracked. But like the worst Branded hands are like, you know, very, very lackluster because of all these like random like card dependent cards you play, like Branded Red, Branded Lost, Mercurial Tragedy. Even like Quem is card dependent because it requires other cards to like gain value, you know. So it's not really a deck where you just have like a standard like starter extender, you know. Like it requires, it's like a pile deck kind of. So because of that, I think I wanted to max out on ways to play. So going back to my original point, I'm playing Foolish and Goldsark for that reason. They are starters. Foolish, you can Foolish Tragedy or something else like a Sarnir, depending on if you already have like Albion or whatever. And then Goldsark, you can Goldsark away the Tragedy or the Mercurius, so it has some utility there. I mean, technically you can Foolish Mercurius and then Sarnir banish too, but I mean, yeah, it just depends. Yeah, the cards are very, very flexible. They're very, very flexible, I'll say that. Then Branded Lost, Branded Red, nothing to say here. Thrust, like I said, Thrust isn't actually that great going second, but I wanted it for going first. Tactics, and then Call By. I mean, Call By is crazy. You want to stop like the hand trap they do have when you go first. Also going second, this card's not bad, especially if you pair with another non-engine. Fusion Duplication for the Thrust, and then the Retribution. For the extra deck, I have double Albion, double Grand Wiccanal, double Mirror Jade. You don't technically need the second Mirror Jade, but I have extra deck space. I'm not playing Super Poly, so and it's like a safety net. 1 Lubellion, 1 Albion, the Sanctifier, the GOAT, and I'll talk a little bit about like your locks in a bit. 1 Rinbrum, 1 of the Titaniclad, 1 of the new girl, the Dragon that Devours the Dogma. It's a cool name. 1 Querulus, 1 Child Star Source, one Borload Furious, and one Lulu Walith. So you can choose to play a lock if you want. I know some people weren't a fan of Ido because of like Droplet, but it looks like Droplet's seeing less play. But I guess some people are still gonna be on it. It's like the worst players. So I don't know. Brandon and White. I chose not to play because I feel like it was an unnecessary brick in the deck, and I wanted to cut down on those cards. So chose not to play that. Ash Blossom, this was not a card you should main deck. It was not impactful enough going second. I would side it if I did play it. As for the rest of your side deck, you can probably try to play stuff like Fusion Duplication. I think for this deck, you don't need non-int. If you can play YuGiOh, you win the game. Like, you actually just win the game. And the deck is fine under, like, the Charmies and shit like that. So, like, I don't think you need to play, like, compromises for those cards. So you literally just, I think you can just side, like, engine cards. Like, obviously, going first, you want to take out, like, the Fua. So then, like, you can just side, like, 2 more Fusion Duplication, like, call it a day. And, like, other stuff, too, so I'll take some type of approach like that. No Magnemite in the main deck. Magnemite, same reason for the Ash Blossom. It's not impactful enough going second. Not saying Magnemite's bad going second, but it's good when it's like paired. But like obviously we have like what 6, 9, really 10, 11, 12, 11. But not that much non-engine in the main deck. So like we're not going to be drawing stuff paired, which is why like I'm on food withdrawal. Like solo these cards like put in work versus Yummy Mitsu, right? So yeah. But anywho, that's it for my branded deck profile. Overall, I mean, deck is really solid. I probably overrated it a little bit on the tier list that I made. I was kind of hype. I made that tier list like 5 minutes after seeing the ban list. But yeah, I still think the deck is decent though. I think the deck is going to see a lot of play. Probably more play than it should. But yeah. Anywho, that's it for the video. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, make sure to leave it a like and subscribe for more. And take care. Peace.